Indeed, the Shadow Operative. I'm quite fond of the name. Not that I normally pay much heed to these things, but in this case I admit to being pleased. It started as sarcasm on the part of the higher rank personnel from the police. It could be taken to mean those who deal with shadows, but the real meaning is those who operate in the shadows. Not only is the unit unofficial, we have the difficult to credit job of exterminating monster. Mostly I suspect it was a dig at a group that disturbed the expected peaceful years before the oldest personal retirement. But Shadow Operative could also mean one who does an indispensable, albeit unrewarded job for society. It is a name truly befitting of this organization goals. We're approaching the first anniversary of the Shadow Operative establishment, so we're still at the level of basic investigation and laying groundwork. Let's say a full-scale case has arisen.
Fighting is not our first option, but I'd be more reassured with you there. We have a general idea of where it was taken, the Inaba area, where there were reports of suspected shadow activity last year.
Good. Ask if it's to hear from an reliable friend. I'll limit the call to a quick exchange of information.
I'll send you the precise location later. Sorry to call when you just returned from a trip, but I'm relying on your assistance.
I close my cell and turn toward my colleague.
He's only just returned and he's going directly to the location from the airport. Akihiko never changes.
The man I was on the phone with just now was Akihiko Sanada. He's one of our non-permanent staff. Akihiko is an excellent persona user, but beyond that he's a skilled boxer. He's a friend of mine from high school who fought the shadow alongside me. I admire his strict determination and never neglect his training, but he extreme length he goes to can be rather inconvenient. After entering college, he accepted my invitation to be one of the founding Shadow Operative, but it was his action afterward that went above and beyond. Sure, I'll join, but I'm gonna use my strength professionally. I want to get my skill to a level I'm happy with first, thus begin his training expedition. He's not only wandering the country, he's traveling the entire world. Can't decide whether to be dumbfounded or impressed by his dedication to training. All of this to say that he only just returned to Japan to take part in this operation. I give a wry smile and lean back in my chair. Seeing me relax, the girl watching nearby smile. This is Aegis, known for her blonde hair and piercing blue eyes. She's a sweet girl on the outside, but she has what it takes to be an important member of our squad.
Will we be able to find Labrys? My sister?
When I took over at Aegis, her eyes are cast downward with an worried expression.
Will we be able to save her? Isn't that what you really want to ask?
You must know once I call Akihiko in as a backup. There is a possibility that we will have to fight Labrys. Knowing that, it's not a great leap to imagine that in the worst case, she may have to be destroyed. And it's true, LS. If all else fails and our safety is at risk with no other way to stop her, that option is on the table.
Don't worry. As I mentioned to Akihiko, fighting Labrys is not our priority. The reason I formed this Shadow Operative team is to save lives. We will find her, whatever it takes, and bring her back. We can do this.
Yes. I'm sorry to be so pessimistic.
Those feelings you have for Labrys, you should tell her when you see her.
I will.
The monitor is showing certain data that is under multiple redundant encryption. Kirijo Ergonomic Research Lab confidential matters. There is, in fact, a reason I'm reviewing this material that are normally secretly concealed. So 2 days ago, on May 1st, I was unexpectedly dragged into a serious incident. The passenger plane I was taking to Kagoshima was hijacked. When there hasn't been a domestic hijacking for 10 years, the top brass of the police afraid to make any mistake, sending the Shadow Operative. The case itself was resolved quickly and all the culprits arrested. None of the passengers were harmed either. But the hijacker's motive wasn't terrorism or political demands, as one would expect. I was surprised to find they were really after my cargo. It was a sales bulk from the Ergonomic Research Lab that we were transporting to Yakushima on that flight. No one thought that the risky hijacking could have been in pursuit of just a cargo, and as a result, one of the objects was stolen. The arrested suspects are all in police custody, but none of them have any memory of carrying out the crime. Someone was pulling their string, very probably using an uncommon method. Considering the puppet master was targeting shadow-related cargo, I doubt they'd be easy to deal with. As for what was stolen, I just mentioned his name a moment ago. The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labrys, is an older model from 2 generations ago. The shadow-related algo research documents were lost in an accident. We know a little about Labrys. She is an android, most likely a female person, just like Aegis. But instead of weapon loadout, she seems to have been fitted with some kind of experimental equipment. That's all we know. Still, thanks to our collaborator Quickwit, the escaping vehicle was raised with the ant system. It wasn't easy, but we managed to pinpoint its location. It was headed for the city of Inaba, where there may have been shadow activity last year. Once the preparation to depart are complete, I'll head there myself. My mind wanders a bit. Though I was unaware of them, the shadow of the sin committed in the Kirijo name is still so painful, 10 years on, that I sometimes want to avert my eyes. But now is not the time to be bound by the past. Now is the time to act. I suddenly noticed that Aegis has been staring at me worriedly. I give her a smile and stand up decisively. We're pulling up to Yaso Inaba, the central town of Inaba. Though it's a central town, the main street seems nearly deserted, and there's literally no activity to be seen through the car windows. It was confirmed that the vehicle transporting Labrys was abandoned here. Our first move would be to confirm the situation. Or so I thought. I attempt to ignore the rude stares of people trying to get a look inside the car, focusing instead on the scene of my tea. People keep crowding around when we park. We've had to move it numbers of times already. We didn't get a moment peace until the car had reached a junkyard on the outskirts of town. As I tried to keep from sighting, I just speak up from her seat in front of me.
Mitsuru-san, our activities are supposed to be undercover, correct?
Yes.
For undercover missions, it will be necessary to keep all personnel and vehicles from being noticed.
Right.
Mitsuru-san, may I say something that I've been meaning to say for a while now?
No.
Understood.
Agi's poker face is a perfect blank, so I understand what she's getting at. I actually wanted to say something along those lines to those around me for a while. Still, they will be yelling to hear it from someone else just now.
All I told them was to give us a car with enough space.
Our contact has arrived.
The man approached us is someone whose cooperation I specifically requested. His name is Detective Kurosawa. Before I can welcome him, I can speak up.
Oh my. This was not our designated meeting area, yet he has discovered us.
You want to know how I did it?
Lately, it feels that whenever Aegis wants to voice her opinion to me, she intentionally puts on the robot X. They mentioned this at the lab. That if Aegis still speak in that stiff, formal manner, either she's getting too human and is developing habits, or she's doing it on purpose.
We
Honestly.
appreciate your cooperation, Detective Kurosawa.
Long time no see, miss. And Aegis, was it?
Indeed. It has been a while.
Detective Kurosawa was an officer at the police box near the school we attended there years ago. He was shunned for cooperating with us and bustled back down to officer, but now that Shadow Operatives are officially recognized, he is in their good grace again. A man who can be trusted beyond the confines of his station to solve a case, even going so far as to bend the rules. He's a rare breed. Detective Kurosawa expression has softened while he makes small talk with Aegis, which makes me realize that this may be the first time he's seen Aegis in her combat form.
I shouldn't make you stand while we talk. Please, get in.
Sorry. I haven't seen you in a while, so I had a lot to say.
You must understand that we are trying to be incognito. So it's kind of him to not point out that our vehicle and attire are completely unsuited to that goal as he entered the limousine. It sits and does not even wait until the door is closed before getting to the point.
I found out quite a bit regarding the case you had me look into. First, I reviewed the report on the incidents from last year. One of the suspects mentioned the word persona.
So what went on here last year?
It's probably related, but I wasn't done there. Parts of this guy's testimony were even more outlandish. If you can take what's in the record at face value, it seems persona users can enter TVs within the Inaba region.
Enter TVs? What does that mean?
Just what it sounds like. You physically stick your body into the screen and go inside. He claimed there was another world in the TV, and dropping people inside it was the method behind last year's murders.
This all sounds rather absurd. I'm surprised it was included in the police report.
I got in touch with the detective in charge at the time and said the same thing. Apparently the report was filed by a young partner of his at the time. He'd entertained the wildest testimonies like this one.
He sounds like quite the oddball.
If this was what really went on, the police would have had no chance cracking it. But that Detective Dojima is one shrewd guy. Even with all the supernatural hocus-pocus surrounding the case, he caught the culprit.
What I asked of him was to collect information about the serial murders that occurred in Inaba last year. The Shadow Operatives are in public knowledge, so I thought the local police would be more willing to speak with him, but the results surpassed my expectation. Though it is slightly frustrating to already run up against something I'm powerless to achieve myself.
That's all I have for you right now. I should be going. I doubt either of us has time to reminisce over the old days. It's funny though. I thought the fighting was over, but you guys surprise me every time I see you.
Thank you very much, Officer Kurosawa. Why don't we at least see you off?
Oh, that's all right. I've got my own car. I doubt my department would appreciate your tastes. If I ever showed up for work in something like this, I'd be the talk of the force until the day I retired.
Detective Kurosawa joked with us before exiting the limousine, waving casually back at us. I had nothing to say to that as I watched him leave, rotating his shoulder to work out some kinks. I just still felt the need to command.
Mitsuru-san, this could be bad. Our sense of social aptitude is in question.
I can't deny that.
What should we do now?
Yes. First, we'll need to test the claim that persona users can enter TVs.
You are at a junkyard, after all, and I can see a number of consumer electronics that have been discarded illegally. I just look around the point at a certain pulse as he gets out of the car.
There is a discarded TV over there. If the environment does not matter, we can use it to test the phenomenon.
Wait, I guess.
Don't worry. I'm just going to touch it.
That's not what I was worried about. He just isn't wearing anything like a disguise, and no, I'm overthinking this. We've already attracted enough attention. Even if we leave now without doing anything, our picture could still end up on the internet. Let them gossip about the strange people in funny clothes have become some urban legend. My mind made up, I step outside wearing my special equipment. Once I just seized that I followed her, she gave a small note and stretched her hand out toward the screen.
Amazing!
Her hands is inside the TV screen, but the screen itself seems undamaged. Aigi's hand is swallowed up to her wrist, and if she put it into a bucket of water...
Interesting. It's exactly as the police report said. What's it like inside? Do you feel anything?
Not particularly. No, wait a moment. It's the same as mine. It's hard to say definitively since this is my first encounter with it, but I believe this reading is from a personality module.
Does that mean our retrieval target is inside the TV?
Huh. Sounds like fun.
That voice from above. It sounds very familiar. But all I see in the direction from where it came is a man in outlandish red cape. I hesitate for a moment. Could it be?
Is that Akihiko?
The man leaped from the stacked tower of TVs like an acrobat.
You didn't show up at the rendezvous point, so I went looking and found you here. This whole TV thing is pretty interesting.
In spite of myself, I bury my face in my palm.
Akihiko, what on earth are you wearing? Just what were you doing overseas?
Didn't I tell you that I was on a training expedition?
Don't tell me you came here from the airport like that. Does the concept of keeping a low profile mean nothing to you?
Mitsuru-san, I believe we have lost the right to complain about that.
That's it. I'm never mentioning the subject of our appearance again.
Anyway, we can go inside from that TV, right? What are we waiting for?
Still the same Akihiko. We don't know the situation inside yet, and we'll need a secure means of getting out.
So what? If we want to get this Labrys back, someone has to go inside, right?
Well, that's...
Our target hijacked a plane to throw her into a TV in this town. If we sit on our hands, it's possible we'll be put in serious danger.
Right. That's exactly why I've been trying to act as quickly as possible since the case
We're
began.
different from how we used to be. We made the choice to fight shadows as professionals. That's why I traveled around the world and trained harder than ever. And now that something's actually come up, you're hesitating? We agreed to do this. I'm ready to stake my life on the mission.
Reckless, unafraid to state his honest opinion. Classic Akihiko. He must understand that this is his role. Certainly, there are times where I need such opinions, and it's been a while since he went aboard. I think I can understand his current mindset.
All right. Wait right here. I need to go make a phone call first.
Okay, but make it quick.
It doesn't have to tell me twice. I'll take out my phones and bring up the contact list. A world inside the TV. I don't know what it might be like in there, but I do know someone that could help us. I was originally going to ask their help after Labrys was secured, but perhaps the time has come. I know who's calling. Now I've taken all possible precaution. The rest is a task of our resolve. This is the second time I watched this scene.
The other members will wait here in the car.
That's it.
If we all barge in and something happens, we'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
Us three will be plenty. We'll end this in a flash. No problem.
The same as always. Although, we have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
This situation, it brings back memories.
Ready!
Why enter the TV?
Naoto-kun.
What's going on?